Good evening, Strathcona County. It's Rod Frank, your mayor. I wanted to catch up with you on some of our activities today on the pandemic response. A couple things happened in the afternoon which are important. One is Premier Kenney spoke, and Premier Kenney talked about an economic aid package for Albertans. He had some details of it. There'll be more coming out over the next couple days, so keep your eyes on that. I have links on my social media, links to Premier Kenney's speech, so you can look there. Also, Dr. Hinshaw spoke from Alberta Health. They're in charge of the response, and Dr. Hinshaw made the point that we are going to be in this response mode for a couple of months, so we have to hunker down a little bit. Now, that's not a problem here at Strathcona County. We've actually been working on this since January 31st, and our whole response to the coronavirus pandemic is to stop the spread. And what does that mean? We don't want to overwhelm the healthcare system. And if too many people get the virus, there's not going to be enough doctors and nurses and frontline healthcare staff to look after everybody. So that's what Dr. Hinshaw spoke to today, to be ready for a couple months of a response. Now, in Strathcona County, our council met and we made some important decisions today. One is we decided to advance another $2 million in funding, emergency funding, for our committee that's looking after the pandemic response. And that was an easy one for council. Council's rightly focused on public health and public safety as number one. And so that money was advanced. The second thing is we had to speak to a decision that was made by our emergency operations committee. Now, we started that committee back on January 31st, and they made an important decision yesterday about outdoor recreation facilities, including the dog park. And the committee, they're the experts here and they act on the advice of Alberta Health. They made the call to close the dog park. And that has upset some folks, and I understand that. And this is where this is getting more real for us now, this pandemic response. It's affecting our daily life. And everybody loves their dog. I have a dog. His name's Kingston. Some people say he's really more of a stuffed animal because he's just a little 12-pound dog. But we've gone out to the dog park too. And it's a busy place, folks. I know sometimes people go out there and there's not that many people there. You know, in January and February, we had 15,000 visitors out there. That averages out to 250 per day. Now, some days there'd be more, some days there'd be less. The point is we're getting 250 people on average out there in the winter months. So we have to protect those people. Those people could be transmitters, or there could be a transmitter of the virus there. And that's the overriding concern here. Recreation is very important. We hear you. People getting mental health breaks, people getting physical breaks, exercising their animals, very important to people. But we cannot allow this disease to spread more than we could possibly contain it. So that's what's behind that decision there. And I want to thank our Emergency Operations Committee, who are the experts here, for making that decision. And that was what was going through my mind when I was hearing this being discussed today. We can't overrule the experts. We have to be sensitive to the public who needs to have these amenities. But overall, it's stopped the spread. And remember, we have a plan around this. And I know that a lot of this sounds really simple, right? Washing your hands for 20 seconds, not touching your eyes or your nose or your mouth. Coughing and sneezing into your sleeve, social distancing. We can't congregate in large groups. That's not going to help us in battling this pandemic. And that's frankly what was the problem around the dog park. We have groups of more than 50 at times that are out there. And I know it's a huge space. It's 160 acres, but people congregate to there. I've been there. I've used it. And I know that to be true. So our recreation needs have to take a backseat to the overall health of the community. Remember to follow Alberta Health Services advice. Remember to check on your neighbors. They might be too sick to go out. You can give them a hand. So we're all in this fight together, not to overwhelm the health system. We're going to keep working together. We're going to succeed. Thank you, folks. Have a great night.